I'll never forget the time in history when my country proved itself to be too racist, sexist, and woefully ignorant to vote for the qualified black woman, so they voted for our collective demise instead. I've learned that the black woman is the walking truth in this country, and that is still hard for many Americans to sit with.
Alright, today we need to talk about a video that has been making the rounds. It's short, it's simple, but it hits hard. Listen to the black women or don't. We are not begging to be heard, but don't act shocked by the consequences. The receipt don't lie. Let's break it down.
I make no secret of the fact that I am a huge fan of Tiffany Cross, and I was really excited to see her contribution to a panel the other day. And I found myself watching the clip unfold and thinking, God, I love her. She's so good. She deserves so much more of a platform. She is unapologetic, unafraid to say the hard things that need to be said. She's incredibly articulate and has such good analysis, such good takes. So let me show you this clip, and then I want to talk about it.
Normalizing a government agency disappearing people. We are normalizing, we're talking about it like it's no big deal that they are kidnapping people and transporting them to concentration camps, both domestic and foreign. I think that's kind of insulting to, I think it's Jewish insulting what they're doing. It is not insulting to Jewish Holocaust. I find it insulting that you could even fix your mouth to defend this disgusting behavior. It's not a death camp. It doesn't matter. It's a concentration camp what they're doing, and they are disappearing people, claiming that these are people who have committed the most harsh crimes, but according to the reporting, less than 10% of these people have committed harsh crimes. So to do the victim Olympics and decide who had it worse, I can tell you, I can participate in that too. And everybody who says, oh, this is not the America I know, I can guarantee you it is the America I know. Can I finish my point, please? Yes. We are, the fact that we're presenting this like it's political fodder, that a government agency is disappearing people, it is not a political point. It has nothing to do with Jewish people, because despite the fact that 20% of immigrants in this country are white, we do not see white people getting carted off to concentration camps. So if we can just focus on the people who are harmed the most by this, and not make yourself or somebody else the center of attention, when that's not who's getting impacted by this. Jewish, but I'm saying, or anyone else the center of attention. Tensions are so heightened. Using that kind of language, I think, is not helpful. The tensions are heightened because this BS administration is kidnapping people. It has nothing to do with my language. It has to do with the actions that are being taken by this administration.
You see why I like her now? She's pretty fucking great. Also, do you see why I hate these kind of panels on CNN and MSNBC and all of these other, corporate media outlets? They legitimize right-wing, pearl-clinging chuckle fucks like that biddy in pink. I didn't bother to research who she was or what media outlet she works for. This is the same CNN that usually has Scott Jennings in that seat. I'm sure he's not there because I doubt Tiffany Cross would sit in a panel with him based on their past working relationship. For networks like CNN to put folks like that lady journalist in pink and Scott Jennings at the same table with folks like Tiffany Cross, they are presenting to an audience of millions fringe right-wing talking points, bigoted, hateful ideology, and normalizing it, sane-washing it, saying this deserves a platform next to a legitimate journalist. It's incredibly irresponsible, and I understand why corporate media does it. They want to attempt to grab some of those Fox News viewers, and because they know that the kind of drama that ensues in these panels when you get these debate bros with their reprehensible positions, that gets them clicks and views. They are legitimizing and sane-washing extreme ideology that does not deserve to be platformed. But getting back to this clip, Tiffany, amazing. Thank you for being willing to say on national television that these are concentration camps. And how dare that pearl clutcher in pink? First of all, she's showing what an ignorant ass she is to claim that the only concentration camps that have existed in the history of humanity are those that happened in World War II in Nazi Germany, and that the only victims of concentration camps throughout history have been Jewish people. And she herself is not even Jewish, but she is choosing to center another people's trauma in order to discount what is currently happening, the ethnic cleansing that is currently happening in the United States today, the hundreds of thousands of people that are being snatched and stashed in concentration camps around the United States and in gulags in El Salvador, people that are being shipped to Sudan. She doesn't want to talk about that. She wants to just...
This video is a call to action. It's not just about respecting black women. It's about building a society where the most marginalized voices are centered. Because when you protect those at the bottom, you protect everyone. That means fighting for universal health care, labor rights, reproductive justice, climate action, and dismantling racist system. So, next time you hear about black women calling out injustice, don't scroll your eyes, don't dismiss it, because if history has taught us anything, it's that she's probably right. And the receipts, yeah, they don't lie.
Black women in corporate, how many times have you told upper management something and they did not listen and it turned out to be disastrous for the company or whatever the case may be? See, what we have going on a national level right now is the results of not listening to a black woman because her qualifications are offensive. If you've been in corporate America, or if you've worked in corporate America and been fortunate enough to make it past or at least to middle management and up, you've seen this on a smaller scale your whole career. More times than not, we get cleanup positions. And yeah, they're corporate positions and they are highly paid corporate positions, but they're cleanup positions done. Because after they done tow it up, then they need somebody who knows how to strategize, who knows how to be strategic, and somebody who knows how to implement plans to come in and clean it up. And what happens is we see these train wrecks coming from a mile away and we always speak up and we say, well, that may not be a good idea, or have we thought about doing it this way? And we're always kind of shunned away, or that may not be a very good idea, or that's not in the budget, or that's this, that, and the third. And then what happens is a more expensive fallout. I'd be willing to bet you $10 to a bucket of piss if Target had a black woman in middle management in a marketing department or upper management in a marketing department. I'd be willing to bet you $10 to a bucket of piss that she said out loud at some point, this is not a good idea to remove the whole DEI thing. Let's just let it blow over. Let's just, like Costco. I'd be willing to bet that there is a black woman somewhere, if there is a black woman somewhere in middle management or upper management or executive level, they said to them, this is not going to be a good idea. And they did it anyway because she don't know what she's talking about. Our qualifications and our knowledge alone is offensive because a lot of times they soon recognize that nothing was given. We earned everything that we have. We earned our position here because we actually know this. And a lot of them did not earn their positions. And, I said a lot, not all. I said a lot. Because we know that nepotism is a thing, and we know that who you know, it ain't about what you know, but who you know is very much a thing. So when they get in that small space with us and get to working with us personally and one-on-one and figuring out, oh, she really knows what she's talking about, and now that means my mediocrity is no longer enough, that's when it becomes offensive. But my whole point is what we're seeing now is dare I say a global level, the consequences of America not listening to a black woman.
Distract from it. And so she's using Jewish people in the Holocaust in an attempt to obscure what's happening here in this country right now. It's reprehensible. Yes, Tiffany is absolutely right. We need to use accurate terminology for what is happening. Do not normalize their euphemisms, which attempt to diminish the horrors that they are enacting. It's not alligator Alcatraz. It's alligator Auschwitz. It is a concentration camp. And I love how Tiffany called out that pink woman who's like, do they have gas chambers there? Bitch, do you not understand that concentration camps don't have to be death camps? And do you know that concentration camps don't start out as death camps? There is a logical progression. Have you not studied history at all? Concentration camps become forced labor camps, become death camps. This regime is already flirting with hinting at turning these into forced labor camps. After all, they have to be more profitable because it's a grift. Geo Group and Core Civic are getting billions and billions and billions of our tax dollars to run these concentration camps. It is a grift. They are doing concentration camps a la capitalism. Core Civic and Geo Group, which is a publicly traded company which also runs concentration camps in South Africa, are making billions of dollars snatching up immigrants who have committed no crimes and stuffing them into concentration camps. And now we are hearing from the regime that we're having a farm worker shortage. Sorry, because we have abducted all of the farm workers. Okay, well, maybe we will loan those folks out to the owners on the farms. They're progressing toward forced labor. As I've said, this is a logical progression in an ethnic cleansing, moving from an ethnic cleansing to a genocide. This is a logical progression of how concentration camps work. I mean, we already see the ways that these functionally are beginning to be death camps. We have reports from multiple states, including court reports, that these detention facilities are denying folks who have been snatched and stuffed into them access to proper medical care, including little children, are being denied critical medical care. For that pink lady to act like, because there's not gas chambers, what's happening is okay. Like, this is the thinking of Republicans in this country. This is the thinking of MAGA. This is the thinking of conservative journalists in this country. Oh, if they're not gassing them, then we can do whatever we want. They can suffer. We can smash them into concentration camps. We can make them be forced labor camps. It's not really appropriate to call it a concentration camp. It's not really appropriate to criticize it unless we're like actively murdering them in gas chambers. Also, like, how fucking embarrassing for that pink lady to act like, to, on a national stage in front of millions of people, to claim that the only concentration camps were ones that held Jews in Nazi Germany. How astoundingly ignorant can you be of world history? The term concentration camp does not just apply to Auschwitz and Dachau and Bergen-Belsen. Just like the term Holocaust doesn't just apply to what happened to the Jews in World War II. What Elon Musk is doing, having gutted USAID, is now committing a Holocaust against the world's poorest children. 300,000 children at least have already died. Tens of thousands of people have died of AIDS and of tuberculosis because Elon Musk took away their medicine. The Lancet says 14 million people will die. How is that not a Holocaust? Withdrawing life-saving food, clean water, and basic medical supplies for no reason, to give billionaires a tax break, to stuff that money into the pockets of billionaires, to enact Elon Musk and Donald Trump's eugenicist plan. That too is a Holocaust that is happening right now, and Republicans, Trumpers, are responsible. That's happening outside of our borders, and so a lot of people remain blissfully ignorant of it. Tiffany is absolutely correct. What is happening in the United States, snatching immigrants and putting them in concentration camps, that's not a political issue. That is a moral issue. And we, as American citizens, Democratic politicians, need to take a stand that this is a moral issue. I would also argue here, though, that it is a winning political issue. What is being done to our immigrants is overwhelmingly unpopular with the American people. A recent poll found close to 70% of Americans do not want our migrant workers rounded up and deported and don't want them put in concentration camps. Almost 70% of Americans want a pathway for those folks to have legal status in this country. By a margin of more than 2-1, Americans oppose what ICE is doing. So Tiffany is so right. It is a moral issue, but it is one the American people care about, and Democrats have an obligation to not stay silent on. Democrats act like if they talk about immigration reform, if they speak out against what ICE is doing, that is politically not going to be good for them, but that's not what the data shows. This is a winning issue. Democrats need to stand up and speak out against ICE. They need to not let establishment Democratic leadership silence them. I understand a lot of progressive Democrats have been very, very vocally opposed. But we need to keep being as accurate as Tiffany is, as vocal as Tiffany is in our opposition to the United States using our taxpayer dollars to run concentration camps in this country and commit an ethnic cleansing against our migrant neighbors.
We should have listened to black women. Yep. We should have listened to black women. You all thought that you were going to fight a fascist in office and prove people wrong, and all you've done is made people suffer. We should have listened to the black women screaming at the top of their lungs that he was a danger to us all. But some of you all paraded around on this app acting as though you were incapable of individual thought, pragmatism, or common sense. You should have listened to black women. And now that black women are not in positions of power, i.e. Kamala Harris, you're saying, where's Kamala Harris? She's at her house. The people don't show up to jobs they didn't get. Some of you all are confused about your misogynoir. You can't and have not grappled and unpacked it. Yeah. We should have listened to black women. And that's going to piss some of you all off, but it's the facts. Should have listened to black women. The 92% of them that told us better. Have the Sunday you deserve. Hopefully you get some rest.
Thank you. Thank you for supporting me here. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my videos to help the channel out.